Have you ever noticed something strange? Some people travel the world, celebrate birthdays, fall in love, get married, change careers, go through heartbreak that would break most of us. And yet, you never see a single post about it. No vacation pictures, no gym selfies, no grateful for this chapter captions. Nothing. Meanwhile, someone else in your feed posts almost every meal, every gym set, every emotion in real time. So here's the question worth sitting with. Who is actually happier? The person documenting every moment or the one quietly living it? We tend to assume people who don't post are shy, antisocial, maybe just not into it. But psychology suggests something far more interesting is going on. Sometimes silence isn't insecurity, it's independence. And in a world engineered to make us visible at every possible moment, choosing to stay unseen might be one of the rarest forms of confidence left. Chapter 1. When social media stopped being social. Think back to the early days of social media. Blurry photos, random 3 a.m. thoughts, birthday wishes on someone's wall. Nobody cared about aesthetics. Nobody thought about the algorithm. The goal was simple: stay connected. Somewhere along the way, that changed. Posting stopped being about sharing. It became about performing. Today, before uploading a single photo, most people run through a silent checklist they never used to ask 10 years ago. Will people like this? Is this aesthetic enough? Will this actually get views? What will people think of me? Without realizing it, life slowly turns into a performance. Psychologists describe this as a shift from intrinsic motivation to extrinsic motivation. Instead of sharing something because it genuinely made us happy, we start sharing because we're hoping for approval. Likes become tiny rewards. Comments become social proof. Followers quietly become a scoreboard. Here's a scene most of us have actually lived. Two friends stand at the edge of the same mountain, watching the same sunset. One spends 20 minutes chasing the perfect angle for Instagram, tilting the phone, retaking the shot, checking the preview. The other just watches the sky change color. Both technically experienced the same sunset. Only one of them was actually there for it. Chapter 2. The invisible audience inside your mind. Even when nobody is watching, many of us behave as if someone is. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect. We massively overestimate how much other people actually notice us. It's why you replay an awkward comment for hours after a meeting, convinced everyone clocked it, when in reality, most people forgot it within minutes. Now combine that instinct with social media. Suddenly, the imaginary audience in your head isn't imaginary anymore. It has names, profile pictures, follower counts, comment sections. Your private life slowly becomes public property, one post at a time. And once your brain gets used to performing, it becomes genuinely hard to switch it off. This is why a lot of people feel anxious online. Not because they're posting, but because they're constantly rehearsing how it might be judged before it's even posted. Ironically, people who rarely post often skip this entire trap. Not because they don't care what others think, but because they've simply stopped letting strangers become their audience in the first place. Chapter 3. Why some people never feel the need to post. Picture two coworkers. Both get promoted on the same day. The first immediately posts a celebration photo, tags the company, writes a heartfelt caption. The second calls their parents, has a quiet dinner with two close friends, and never mentions it online at all. Who's happier? Psychology says there genuinely isn't enough information to answer that, because the behavior of posting isn't what matters. The motivation is. Some people post because they truly enjoy sharing. Others post because they're searching for validation. From the outside, the action looks identical. The psychology behind it is completely different. Researchers describe people who rarely post as often having what's called an internal locus of evaluation. In plain terms, their sense of worth comes from inside them, not from likes, not from comments, not from a string of strangers typing, "Congratulations." Picture getting genuinely good news, a job offer, a pregnancy, a debt finally paid off, and your very first instinct isn't, "I need to post this." It's just a quiet smile, because the moment already feels complete on its own. It doesn't need witnesses to become real. This doesn't make these people better, or more evolved, or morally superior. It just means they've built a different relationship with attention. Their life isn't less interesting, it's just less public. Chapter 4. The freedom of having no personal brand. The more consistently you post, the more people expect you to remain the same. Imagine someone becomes known online as the fitness guy. Every day, workout videos, healthy meals, motivational quotes. Now imagine One day, he discovers a passion for painting, or music, or gardening. Suddenly, his audience is confused. Why aren't you posting workouts anymore? You've changed. I miss the old you. Without realizing it, his followers have built a digital version of him, a version that expects consistency. Psychologists call this identity crystallization. Your online identity slowly hardens into something permanent, but real people aren't permanent. We're supposed to change. We're supposed to evolve. We're allowed to become completely different people every few years. The people who rarely post often protect that freedom. They don't have an audience expecting them to stay the same. At work, they can be serious. With family, they can be playful. With old friends, they can be loud. No algorithm demands consistency. No followers expect a performance. And perhaps that's one of the greatest luxuries left in the digital age. Because when nobody is watching, you're free to discover who you're becoming instead of defending who you used to be. Chapter 5. The hidden cost of recording everything. Have you ever been to a concert where thousands of people were holding up their phones, trying to record the perfect video? Now ask yourself, how many of them actually watched the performance? And how many watched it through a screen? Psychologists call this the photographer's paradox. The moment you shift your attention from experiencing to capturing, your brain changes roles. You stop being an observer. You become a producer. Instead of asking, how does this moment feel? Your brain starts asking, does this angle look good? Should I zoom in? Will people like this? Imagine a father at his daughter's school performance. He spends the entire event recording every second. Later, he has a perfect video. But ask him about the little smile she gave him from the stage, or the excitement in the room, and those details are surprisingly blurry. Sometimes, in trying to preserve a memory, we accidentally stop living it. Chapter 6. Why some memories feel more precious when they're private. Think about the happiest moment of your life. Maybe it was your graduation, your first salary, a quiet conversation with someone you love, or simply sitting beside your parents after a long day. Now imagine posting that moment online. Within minutes, it belongs to everyone. People congratulate you. Some ignore it. Others compare it with their own lives. A few misunderstand it completely. Psychologists describe something called psychological ownership. The more personal something feels, the more deeply connected we become to it. But once every meaningful experience is shared publicly, part of that ownership quietly changes. It's no longer just your memory. It becomes content. One was created to be treasured. The other was created to be consumed. There's nothing wrong with sharing beautiful moments, but not every beautiful moment needs an audience. Some memories become more valuable, precisely because they remain yours alone. Final thought. Are you living or performing? Imagine you're 80 years old, sitting quietly, looking back on your life. What do you think you'll actually remember? The number of likes on your vacation photo, or the feeling of warm sand under your feet? The comments section, or the laughter you shared with people who were actually there in the room with you? Life has quietly become something strange. We're surrounded by real moments, yet constantly tempted to step outside them, to film them, edit them, caption them, and wait for strangers to confirm they mattered. But maybe the most meaningful moments are the ones that never appear online. Being unseen is not the same as being insignificant. Sometimes, it simply means you've stopped asking the world for permission to enjoy your own life. So the next time something beautiful happens to you, pause. Before reaching for your phone, ask yourself, am I trying to remember this moment, or am I trying to prove that it happened? Because the answer to that might reveal far more about your psychology than any social media profile ever could. Hit subscribe. If this video made you reflect on your own relationship with social media, I'd genuinely love to hear about it. What's one memory you're grateful you never posted online? Drop it in the comments.